What's up, everyone? I'm Anthony Rotelli, and this is the Iron Dog Podcast. This season, we're sitting down with race teams to talk strategy, mindset, and machines, and what it really takes to compete in the world's toughest snowmobile race. Team 7, we've got Tyler Aklestad, Nick Olstad here. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
It's going good.
Thanks for joining us today.
Yep, appreciate
Good to
it.
be here.
So, Tyler is 4 times champion, and Nick, you've won it 6 times.
Yep.
That's incredible. I think you're right behind Scotty Davis and what's that?
John Fay.
John Fay.
John Feo.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Tyler's working hard
7.
to get me there.
We're trying.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, tell us a little bit about some of the mindset and experience of the race here. How does your mindset now compare to earlier Iron Dog wins?
I'll start. How's it now? I don't know. Still have the same mindset. Want to win. Want to go fast, but we're realizing that we're getting older and still fast, just a lot smarter. So that's how I think it works for us.
Okay.
I think there's a bit of a matrix there, right? That not only being a veteran, like people talk about being a veteran, and you have that experience, but there's also now moving into this 22 years of doing the race. Like you're beyond even being a veteran. You know so well what it takes to win. Like, so now you've taken that next step. We know we finally learned. It took us a little while to figure out that pace and everything that was going on, but at this point, I mean, we understand everything about what the training program, the race itself, where to push it, where not to push it. Those are the things that, as we've gotten older, I think that, I hate saying we've slowed down. I think we just maybe slowed down in like the way that we want to, like where to conserve and what you've learned, like it's not worth wasting the energy in certain spots and
race harder,
yeah,
smarter, not harder.
It is. It becomes that
Yeah.
racecraft that you really have, and not getting wrapped up in what somebody else is doing. There's so many of these elements that I'm sure we're going to go over today.
Yeah.
So dive in a little bit for some of the viewers here. What does a race mimicked kind of practice day look like for you guys?
For us, probably getting up, just a practice day. Just getting up in the morning early, 5, 6 o'clock, go to Willow to his cabin, dress out, and figure out where we're going to go. Yeah.
I'd say it's a huge thing that we have developed for our program. Some people are picking up on it, and maybe, I don't know, for us it works, is like our training program is not going out and kind of stopping and like, oh, let's chit chat for 20 minutes when we meet, we get to Squintna and we get to the next checkpoint, like once things are in, like we are on race pace. So just give an example, like we rode to McGrath a week ago in 8 hours, that's like a solid fast race pace.
Yeah.
We did that right around 8 or even faster in some regards to what some years that we've done it in a practice.
Sure.
Because even when we fueled in practice, like it was quick. We weren't lollygagging around. Like it was went all the way to Roan, got fuel in between there. But there was no stopping and hanging out. We completely mimic exactly what we'd be doing in the race. And then sometimes I think we push ourselves harder. We actually did that in training this year. It was the first time I kind of put it out there on social media, but we trained from Willow all the way to Poor Man, which I don't know if anybody's really ever tried to tackle that in the race, but I guess our perspective was, heck, when we get to McGrath this year, which everybody's always complaining about, I'm going to feel a lot better than I don't have to go to Poor Man.
It'll make it seem easy.
That's awesome. Did you find that practice this year was just better weather? Like, have you had kind of the inconsistencies in weather to get the all-around practice because we all know, like some years you get whiteout conditions and, it can be anything come race day. So
I don't know. This year we got a little bit later start practicing.
We did.
Yeah. I think I started riding just before Christmas this year.
Yeah, we've had a weird snow year.
Yeah,
too
weird
already.
snow year.
Yeah.
Nick had a really bad 2025.
Yeah, I'm glad to be done with that. Broke my back last year or January, and
Oh my goodness.
this year tore my Achilles playing soccer right
Okay.
after hunt season. So
Holy moly.
I'm a month out of a brace, and
Yeah.
How do you feel? Like
I feel good.
confident and
Oh yeah, no, I feel
chasing 7, you're chasing 5. I mean,
Yeah.
that's. You think you're going to get there together?
course,
Of
yeah,
course.
of
I
course,
like
yeah.
that. You
Yeah.
got to stay positive,
Feel good
right?
about it.
Yeah. Positive, confident, whatever you want to call it. Yes,
That's
absolutely.
awesome.
I'm not going to line up if I don't think I can win this thing. And I confidently think Nick and I have a very solid shot. Like,
Yeah.
just our program, I feel good. He
And
does,
you guys are friends outside of racing.
Yeah,
Yeah, we do a lot of
we've
stuff.
known each other for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Since
Yeah.
he was, I think I met him when he was 15 or 16 years old.
Yeah.
Holy,
Yeah,
that's a
and-
long time.
We raced against each other for a long time, and
So tell us about that. You guys started out racing against each other.
oh yeah,
You've won a few times with other racers.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how did we wind up? Like, dude, we gotta join forces here.
My partner he had a bad wreck that year and wasn't sure if he was going to race and not, and told me to find something else because he wasn't positive what was going to happen. And
Okay.
we got to talking when we were in Nome there, and Tyler won that race, and I got third, and his good buddy Aaron got second. So
Yeah.
we're there BSing, and we just
worked out.
mentioned it to each other and
Yeah.
went from there.
It is. It's been an evolution. It's definitely evolved. It's went from being very fierce competitors to I don't think with saying that like always very competitive against each other, but Nick was always somebody that I respected as well, and I would hope likewise. Like we always. We had a good competitive relationship in that regard. It was never like, oh, I hate that guy.
Yeah. We always talk
Other,
short
maybe
races.
once I did maybe early on.
I T-boned him one time and won.
This guy.
Yeah. So it's had its moments, but no, I don't know. We've always been buddies and clicked. It's kind of, I think a lot of it too. When we went into it, it was our mental, like the mentality or the how we looked at the race, and I think like how we approached it and how we would go into the race within the training and our just like the things that we expected out of it and how we built our snowmobiles. Everything about this, we were very aligned always. And so
Similar,
that was
yeah.
very, very similar in that regard. Made that transition pretty easy. And you could see that in when I was racing against him and Todd for those years. And it was Todd, Nick, and Tyson and Tyler. That was a kind of through
rivalry, yeah.
that was the rivalry that people really, they pushed on, and it was a good rivalry.
Yeah.
I lost to Nick going into Fairbanks by minutes once,
Minute,
that we
50 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
What happened?
Nick can tell that we were talking about that.
That was in 2009.
2009. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's early. Wow.
It's
like a lifetime ago.
We were leaving Manly, and a carbide broke on mine, so I had to stop, take it off. These guys were just right behind us, caught us, and him and Todd were kind of dicing it out. I think you just passed Todd, just hit this big wind drift. Both of them hit hard. Todd hit it too.
Yeah.
So his axle got pushed forward, so he could only do like 50 miles an hour or something.
Yeah.
My sled would do like 55 miles an hour because I had a broken motor mount.
Oh
And we were
man.
just
That's fun.
And it's those are the learning.
Yeah.
You look back and you're like, from my perspective, Nick and Todd won that year, and it's because we got a little excited and I started racing Todd, not knowing that Nick was having a problem. Tyson and I had just straight out passed them. If we would have just kind of taken it easy, we had that race in the bag. But I got racing his partner with a good sled, got caught up in that moment. I end up wrecking. We wrecked side by side. Like Todd and I both hit a wind drift, both wrecked on the same exact spot, right next to each other. I end up messing up my sled in that process and messed it up just a little bit worse than his was. And what we had in the bag no longer, it didn't work out.
Can only Band-Aid so much.
Like I said, in that instance, like visually, if you think like the rear axle is what keeps your track tight on a snowmobile, like mine got crushed forward, and then my track, if I tried going too fast, it'd start ballooning out and it'd start hitting my cooler, and you could hear it. And it was like, well, you just go 50 and don't rip out your cooler so I can at least finish.
Yeah.
And I could only go so fast.
At first, you're like, "Is that ice? Just run through it."
Yeah, you realize real quick that wasn't.
I knew what that was.
That's crazy. So, speaking of some of the race stuff that occurs, like, tell us a little bit more about maybe a time that grit mattered in this race more than skill itself, because obviously you two are very skilled riders.
I'll let Nick speak to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think me and Tyler are probably some of the toughest guys out there doing this race. I mean, you got to be tough and keep going. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. There are a lot of times your body hurts, or you got to work on stuff. I mean, you just got to force through it. I mean, that's really it.
I mean, grit, like a specific instance. Yeah, we've had the stuff people have heard about here recently. We went in the water on the South Fork and we got the sled drug up out of there. I mean, that was gritty, but I think maybe more so than even that would be like where you see the races evolved into these long days, and like that's where I feel like that grit, that grind comes in. Is if you geographically look at it, one year we went from Nome all the way down to Koyuk, did the whole Kotzebue loop, and back down to Unalakleet. That's 710 miles, and we did it in a little over
hours,
something 12,
Wow.
14.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a long, and it's not riding your groom trail through the Midwest or even anywhere.
Yeah,
Like it's
It's concentration and
just awful weather at times and coastal and like I feel like that's where the grit and our grind really makes a difference. Is those, it's one thing to do the 200-mile day. It's when you start doing the 4 and the 5, and then that grit also getting back up the next morning after you do a 700-mile day, and I've got another 300, 400 to do the next morning. After 8 hours of sleep, it's if you got 8 hours of sleep, and 8 hours of sleep is
Yeah, you don't.
You don't get that. I don't sleep a whole lot.
I get some pretty good sleep.
Yeah,
nobody around me does.
8 hours, man.
Yeah,
I was sleeping good.
I was gonna say I don't know what we sleep in. I probably only sleep collectively 8 hours in the week. I swear, but I don't know.
Yeah, right. Sometimes we do better on less.
Yeah.
When you grow up with a work ethic, it's
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But all the races, all the wins that you have under your belt too. Like obviously we talked about this, when you push, when you preserve. What's something that kind of in the moment and out in the field, like how do you know now when to push, when to preserve? What's like an example of one of those times during a race that you've kind of realized, I'm going to hold back at this portion of the trail, and you've seen others fail, but your kind of veteran mindset helped?
To me, it seemed, obviously I'm following Tyler's, his pace, so
okay.
He makes that call a lot. I mean, he's looking back to see if I'm there. I'm usually there, so
He's really good at staying there all the time. Yes, he's very good at that.
yeah. I don't know what would be the.
It's funny is just like, and I don't know, you after all these years of doing it, you know the feel.
Yeah.
You know when, I can tell when like, I'm pushing it a little too hard, I'm making mistakes, I'm screwing up or something, and that, possibly and you have a very good feel like with that whole program, going back to this, how we train, how we ride. It's so like, it's cookie cutter, like well-oiled, consistent. We do it all the time. Like, that pace, and we just stay consistent to that at all times. And I know, like, the whole course so well. Like, I mean, not to even exaggerate, I could probably close my eyes and walk through the whole entire race from here to know and tell you every single section of the race, as I could just go through it. Like,
That's incredible.
Yeah,
like, I know it that well.
Cross this creek, turn right, turn left.
Yeah.
There's a rock there. Yeah, he's
Like that.
pretty good at it.
That's a pro rider there. I mean, it's like muscle memory.
Yep.
It is,
just-
and you've done it so many times. We've practiced it. Like, that is the thing. Like, when you're in the right spot, you're not in the right spot, what the terrain, like what the snow conditions should be like. You start to know all those little things.
So speaking of that, what would be one of your toughest, or that you feel the toughest stretch of the trail, and why?
I don't know if it's the trail as much as the weather.
Yeah.
I think whiteout and snowing and blowing is, for me, is the worst part. I hate that, but we do really well in it. It's not very fun.
I would agree. I mean, a lot of like the stuff that people may like the burn, like that's notably, and yes, it's last year. I'm going to tell you right now, that was the worst thing I've ever done that was awful ever in my whole career racing. The burn was pure dirt, grass, tussocks, whatever it was, the whole entire way across there. That was miserable. But most years I actually enjoy some of that, like that terrain. I enjoy that section. As a whole, I mean, really, like Nick really nailed it, is the weather. Like, it is hard to explain for somebody that's never been to like Western Alaska along the coast and explain how bad that whiteout is.
Yeah.
Like, it is not an exaggeration of like, we could lose each other 10 feet apart. Like, you cannot literally see 10 feet in front of you. It is
You're looking
staring
for the
at
brake
you.
light and you're wondering where it went.
We've passed multiple teams and they didn't even know we passed them. And
Wow.
we can see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can see us.
Yeah, it can be just awful out there. I know.
One of the things that makes Alaska.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's what makes this race
Yeah,
what it is.
Last year or 2 years ago, we stopped up on the coast there and we had a little mishap, but we were working on snow machines and I'm like, oh, now I know how people die out here. I mean, we were there for maybe like 5 minutes and the snow, there was drift all the way over this whole side of the snow machine.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like,
blowing that hard.
and snowing. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's time to go. You can't screw around and hang out. You got to make up your mind really quick of what you want to do.
So you're trying to work on the sled. You're bundled up because of the wind.
Oh, no, you're not bundled up. You still got your race clothes on. You're cold.
Yeah, just dealing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's the grit we talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible. What about navigation? Do you feel that there was ever a moment, and I'm sure there was, like in your early race careers, that you felt your navigation, your navigable skills of this race were kind of really tested? You know, you hear about teams getting off the path and lost all the time. Has that really ever happened to you guys?
Early years, it's like something you just learn. Like, I remember one of them that messes a lot of people up is Koyak. Koyak to White Mountain, there's not this well-beaten, marked path like leaving there. And I remember for years, I always got screwed up leaving there. Okay. It was just I don't know. That one's the one that it was a hard one to get out of there. But nowadays, like going back to what I was stating, I just, exactly what to expect. You leave Koyak and you actually, it's a very weird feeling because you have terrain that's like off to your right that you visually think that's where you need to be going. So you're kind of like trying to travel that way and not like get too far. Everything's about being as direct as you can is what you're always trying to do. So it's the most straight line. I'm going to go from here to here, point A to point B, most direct's the fastest way. But that one always tricked me to making me feel like I needed to be further in. But then you get too far in, and then you're into these huge, deep washout ditches, and you got into the pack ice. It was just one of those ones that you had to learn, like you needed to be further out than you ever realized. And it's just like now I know that. Like, it's a weird feeling, and it's a weird spot, especially if it's not, something that you're familiar with.
And it's the ocean too, so it's changing all the time.
That would mess with me.
It's on the ice.
That would mess with me.
There's water on one side, and
so I can ride anywhere.
Side.
Yeah.
Don't like riding over water when you know it's.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So racer dynamic wise, obviously, you guys have won consecutively now, 22, 23. You've won in 2020.
Yep.
Seeing that you have more wins behind your belt, why do you let Tyler lead?
He's good at it. You let somebody that's good at it do it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just a dynamic. It's what works, right?
Yeah.
It's probably a little personality. I don't, it's just like I enjoy that aspect. And don't get me wrong, on a clear blue, beautiful day, I'm like, this is pretty awesome.
Take the good with the bad.
I love it. But when it's that complete trash you can't see, it sucks to lead. But both, like you said, I would say there's good and there's bad. And you just take it, and we both have gotten really well at, like, I understand, I believe, I know what that pace should be. I have that ability. I pretty, like, situated, navigable, I know where we're at. I do well at that, I feel like.
Blessing and a curse.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I get it.
Sense of direction is definitely, that's my thing. It's actually funny, like, my wife, I love her dearly, but we could drive somewhere 12 times and she won't remember how to get there. She'll hear this and be mad. But
I get it. You go somewhere once and you kind of just,
and I have a kid that's that same way.
Yeah.
That he knows, and he'll tell his mom, like, no, you're going the wrong way. And then I have the other, my youngest is just like his mom, and he's just like, well, I don't know where we're at.
Go for the ride.
I'm in my phone all the time, Dad. Come on.
Liam will get us there. Yeah, so.
That's awesome.
I don't know. It's just one of those things. It has worked. But, like, I don't envy him being in the back by any means, and
just getting pelted by.
It's not too bad. You get to see all the bumps before he hits them.
That's
or
true.
After he hits
That's
them.
true.
He's got to hit
What
everything.
do you feel makes your partnership work so well?
I don't know. We both have the drive to win. We're both pretty focused on what we do. I mean, there's not very many people you trust to work on your snow machines, and I mean, I do stuff by myself. He does stuff by himself, and they come together, and it just all works. You get both sleds got to make it. Both people got to make it.
Just being friends outside of it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much your iron dog partner is your best friend usually, and I think that's how it works all the time.
That's awesime.
You
100% agree with
better
it.
be best friends.
Yeah, you're going to trust them with your life out there, essentially, right? I mean, it is.
Yeah,
So
just gonna
that's
trust.
valid. What do you think, Tyler, that Nick brings to elevate your team?
Oh, just Nick's craftsmanship, his sled building. I mean, there's so much on the riding side of it. Like, we're very solid there, but then the drive from the snowmobiling aspect to the preparation, like, I don't think there's anybody better than Nick in that regard in this race. And I will stand behind that 1,000%. Like, Nick's drive is bar none, like anybody else out there.
Do you feel he's pushing you more than the other way around? Like, we
I
just got 10 more miles, go. 100 more miles, go.
I think we're good at, like, pushing each other in that regard.
Okay.
I don't think, I think it's pretty well, it's balanced. Like, I think if it gets to a point and we talk to each other, like, hey, should we stop for the day, or like even in training, or should we do this? What do you think? Like, we usually are very agreeable on, like, all right, we should maybe not go do this, or we should do this. It's never like, oh, that was a dumb idea on his part or something. There's not that. I would just, I can confidently say, like, going into it with Nick and I don't think anybody goes out there. Nobody's going to be more prepared than we are. Maybe they're as close in some regard, but pretty sure we dot every I and cross every T with at least with this going into the start of that race.
Yeah, you're out there to win it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I love it. That's what racing's all about.
Yeah.
Do you guys happen to race any other races in your careers outside of this?
usually do a lot more.
Quite a few of them, yeah.
Yeah?
I've done
Yeah.
a lot of them, yeah. So there's, like, Mayor's Cup, I raced that for a lot of years. Nick did as well.
Yeah, at the beginning,
Those, an amazing race down in Valdez. I did that a lot in my younger years. I've done it here recently, too. Had really good success. Nick did, too. Fortunately, we both, won that race numerous times. I've gone up and done Nome Gullivan.
Yeah, I've done that once.
Nick did that. I was fortunate to win that. I've done the Archie Ferguson up in Kotzebue. Won that one.
Yep, that's
Nick's won that.
yeah, I won it once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys do any other style, like snow cross or?
You know what?
Dabbled in it.
Younger.
I'm getting too old for this.
It wasn't real snowcross up here. I don't think it was.
It's just Alaska was
Yeah.
always really
It's behind,
gravitated
yeah.
toward, like, you went to what was the type of racing that was, I don't know, how do you put
On
that?
TV.
Well, no, I mean, no. I mean, snowcross was super neat, and I mean, I enjoyed watching snowcross to this day. I do, and the old snowcross. But in Alaska, like, cross country was just very dominant. Like, Iron Dog was always this iconic race that I remember as a young kid. So snowcross was cool, but, like, living here in Alaska, it was like I wanted a cross country race. I wanted to race against these guys that I grew up watching. I wanted to race Iron Dog. Like, I remember being a kid and, like, early days of, like, even internet. I don't even know how it was, like, it would be, like, delayed, like waking up in the morning trying to find out where people were, whether it was even on the internet or Channel 2 News would be telling you, like, you'd be waiting for the 6 o'clock edition to, like, this is where the Iron Dog racers were, and that would all come through and their times and everything. Like, that was something
That's cool.
I remember
before
as a
you had
child.
GPS and people could track you.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure before we even knew each other, we were out at the finish lines on Lake Lucille and start lines on Big Lake watching.
That's awesome.
All dad's friends go.
What about the next generation? Are your kids you getting them into racing?
Mine aren't. They don't like the cold. they like riding snow machines when it's warm out.
Yeah.
Tyler's kids, they're
Fair weather sailors.
They like riding a lot.
I have one that's very into it and is begging me. He's now 11 years old, which just blows my mind. And he wants to do it at 16, and I told him I would. And
Wow.
Which is 5 years away. And
Yeah.
so we'll see if he still wants to. Absolutely. I mean, I would 100% do it with him. It's actually, it's a whole different perspective though, because I think some of this, like Iron Dogs, racing, you have to have this kind of a little bit of a switch to just be like, all right, I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's probably some things that we do that people would consider to be crazy or wild. And I'm good with that. And I trust Nick and myself like so well. But then the scary part about that is you put your kid in that situation is going to be a whole nother realm for me to like grasp.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd have to talk to some of these other, some of these other teams that have done it with their, some veterans that have done it with their kids, and I'm sure they've got a different perspective on that. Even Scott and
Yeah. I know Shane and Shane
all
are
his kids
running this year, and sure, I could only imagine. I have a young child, so she's not there yet, but hopefully one day we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I'd love to be able to say, I'll be honest, my kid and everybody thinks he is a very good rider, and I would be like, I don't know, at 16, he could win it. I really with how he rides and progressing, I don't know, it'd be pretty cool to do that. And
I think it's been a long time since a rookie racer won. I think
probably
since
Nick.
One of the beginning ones. Yeah.
Nick.
05.
05 was, I
Dang.
think, the only time, right?
Besides the first race.
Besides the first,
Besides the first one, Nick, I think, is the only one, yeah.
That's
and he won it
incredible.
at, how old were you?
22. Youngest too.
Yeah.
And what are you now?
Can't let any young people win it now. Got to protect that record for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm 43 now.
Where'd the time go?
Oh, it's
Crazy.
Went by fast.
Do you guys have a favorite kind of part of the trail that you would feel is uniquely Alaskan? I know obviously this is all Alaskan wilderness here, but
I don't know. I mean, it's always fun coming home, riding the trails you're used to, but on the way back. But it's all, I don't know. It's all pretty good.
It's, I mean, Farewell Burn is so awesome.
Yeah.
You get out there and you see buffalo and bison.
Giant moose,
and the wildlife that you see across there is, you're not going to see that anywhere else, right? And you're in this just vast, remote wilderness, and you're in their element. That is pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. And then you travel through the interior and you go onto the Yukon. I don't know if anybody's, people that have not been on the Yukon River. Mm-hmm. It is a massive river. It's awe-inspiring. Like, it is an amazing. I mean, it is
a long ways across it.
It's a long ways across it. It's a long ways down it. I think that's awesome. And then there's just so many aspects to this. For anybody that's ever had that adventure side of wanting to explore Alaska, I don't think there's any better way you could do it in a timely manner. You're not going to see me. To each their own. People love to dog sled, hiking, biking, whatever. But like, we get to travel across all of Alaska in a week, and it's pretty amazing. And there's just, I don't think there's one aspect that's just stands out. There's so many, and that's something as we get older, like you take that into, you're like, man, this is.
You don't want to take it for granted.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You get there and you're like, this is pretty neat.
Yeah, I always think about buddies that you're like, man, I wish I had friends that would, they'd love to see this, but
yeah.
How do you get them there if they don't? Yeah.
Like, man, the stuff they miss out on.
And it's the good and the bad. Those years when the coast is awful, mm-hmm. like we talk about the whiteouts, there is no worse place to be in the world, in my opinion. Like, that is the worst feeling when it is that awful whiteout. But when it's mm-hmm. clear blue and beautiful up on that, like, coastal Alaska, it is absolutely gorgeous. And it's sunrises, sunsets, whatever it may be, on a clear blue day out there and not windy. I know it's pretty rare, but that's pretty awesome.
Nowhere else like it, I feel, in the world.
There's not.
Nope.
It's incredible. And did I hear one of you guys fly?
Yeah. Yep.
How do you feel that flying and being outdoors has kind of shaped your racing mindset? Do you think that's had any sort of
I don't know that it's the only thing I do think that maybe does help is we talked about like the navigating aspect.
Okay.
You learn from that pilot background is, having a trust for instruments and trust for, understanding whether it's a GPS or heading, having that experience is huge, I guess, because you know to trust that. I've heard people because it is when you're in those type of scenarios, it's a very weird feeling. Like you always feel like you want to turn one way. I find myself always wanting to veer to the right and wander away. And if you don't trust and know how to all right, no, I'm staring at my GPS, you'll just naturally start veering away from things and you get lost doing that. And I've heard of people even saying they're like, no, I don't feel like my GPS is right. Like I need to go this way. And it's like, no,
you gotta trust that
you
thing.
better trust that thing. It's pretty accurate. So
with today's technology.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but you also have to be able to focus on that, take that in, and then still you're monitoring. Okay, I'm looking at a GPS heading, and I'm trying to get this, and I'm using that to super focused in. That's where I'm heading, and then keep that heading to where you need to go. So some of that's helped, I suppose.
Eyes up, right? That's how you get in an accident.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about a story maybe that you can think of, one of your best races and worst races in your Iron Dog career. Do you have one that kind of uniquely stands out?
Anyone that we want is the best. It's a good one. I don't know. I think our back-to-back wins was pretty good. Both of them were.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
I mean,
20, was that 22, 23?
23.
To me, it's the races that you win and you're in the front the whole entire time are the best feeling races. Because you dominated that whole race, from start to finish, and you never let it go. And that's the way those 3 races were for us.
Yeah.
And those ones feel really good. I mean, there's no one can say anything. No one can take anything from you. You just followed somebody in. No.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
Tyler's breaking trail faster than you guys are riding it.
Yeah.
And
Someone has to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say one of my best would probably be, your first is maybe always going to be marked as one of the best. But Nick and his 2020 was an awesome one. Just everything about how that went. I think that was it was our first year together. We trained so hard. We prepared. We did had all this research from traveling up, pre-running the course. We had it all put together, had all this stuff, and it came together perfectly. And we won by a massive margin, which
2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah,
or something.
It was huge, and that was. I think that's really when I was like, oh well, this thing's this was the right decision to make. It's working really well, and it hasn't changed a bit since then. We've had faults since we've learned,
Sure.
But it's still every one of those races that's gone wrong. You go out on these training rides and and we're out there in the middle of nowhere and as we're doing those and
I remember hitting that.
I remember, we're just talking about all the things that those are implanted in you of knowing all the things you did wrong.
Okay.
I have more of that. I know what I've done wrong more than what I've done right, I would say, in this race.
Yeah, you remember every single one of those.
Yeah.
Do you have a time that you guys kind of crashed or failed out that stands out in your head?
No.
You can't race 20 different times and not have a boo-boo here and there.
Oh no, I've had lots of problems.
Yeah.
And you can only do so much.
Part of racing.
You always keep trying to go. Until you can't.
Yeah. I don't know that there's ever been one
A partner, when Todd got hurt, that was pretty bad. It was bad for Tyler too. Even that race, he was there the whole time, and you never want to see somebody get hurt. It sucks.
That's a bad.
Yeah.
No, it's never good. Nobody ever wants to see anybody get hurt.
No.
But, it's not a joke. You guys are doing, what's your average speed? 60?
It's mid 50s.
Yeah,
I thought is what it
55,
averages
I
out
think.
depending on the years.
Yeah.
Where we're this year going back to Fairbanks. I'm sure we'll see a higher average because a little more river running.
Yep.
Okay.
But some people think the river running, you're going faster. We're running over 100 mile an hour. It's easier in some regard because it's smoother and it's not as maybe technical and tight, but there's a lot of things that happen.
A lot of risk, yeah.
A lot of risk as now your speed is higher, obstacles you start closing. You can find yourself getting complacent where you honestly, at 100 mph, I've told people this, you feel like you could get off and like run alongside of it. Like it just feels, you get so used to it, it becomes and you can't let yourself get lackadaisical, because all of a sudden you're still doing 100 mph. And guess what? When there's a big ditch bottom, something comes up on you, it comes very quick at that speed. And I think that's where always staying focused. But
do you have gear that, like I know for me, obviously on different days, I'll put the amber lenses on or I'll change out to clears. Like, do you guys swap out gear or you just
pretty much wear clear goggles all the time for me? I know Tyler does too. Yeah, it's just
sunshine, snowy, clear it is.
A lot of times you wear the same goggle the whole entire race.
If you're doing it right, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of that comes down to just like experience and what's worked, and you have to realize, like, I know some people like yellow on like really flat days. It doesn't seem to help me, and then the transition period maybe in the daylight is so short, and if you're not changing your goggles, they saturate too much light at night. So it becomes yellow is not something you want to use at night with all the auxiliary lights that are running. So I'm just running clear all the time, and I've learned that it's just, my focus level with clear is a lot better. So
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, whatever works. It's obviously working.
Yeah, absolutely. So
now, speaking kind of about being in the middle of nowhere, we're in these villages and things like that during this race. Do you guys have any sort of community or a volunteer that stands out to you throughout these years? It takes a village, they say, to get these things.
There's people in every town, I think. I mean, we have definitely Team 7 supporters everywhere.
We do, and it would be really hard to just focus on and say one singular place, one singular person, because it takes so many, and there are so many people that, whether they support us, they support another team, they're all supporting the race, and that's such a huge aspect of it. It's very inspiring to see what it does to those really, and the lift that it gives them out there for when this race comes through, and the kids, and
it's probably
it's so neat too to like as you get older and you get a little more and I have kids. I remember going to Caltag and seeing these kids that were literally in diapers, and they're having kids now. Like I've been doing it. Nick and I have been doing it 20 plus years. So you've been there and watched these kids grow up.
Yeah, wow.
And it's pretty cool. It is
now they're teens. And
it is very neat.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Not to be any one way, but obviously you guys ride for Skidoo. You're Skidoo riders.
Absolutely, yes.
So we know the leaps and bounds that Skidoo has done with their sleds over the years.
Yep.
You've raced all these years. Do you find that there's a favorite sled that you've had? I know some guys always go, oh man, I really like that 07 Rev, or
I don't know. I think what we got now is the best of everything on Skidoo that I've ridden. I mean,
that's just neat. I actually just did an interview here recently with them about, and this is a very similar question got brought up, and is there a certain year? And it is. I would say, fortunately, with our involvement that Nick and I have been able to have with BRP and Skidoo, my favorite snowmobile is this year's Sled, because they have progressively built off from what we've been able to give them feedback on, and they've worked with us so well. Like, it's just progressed and gotten better and better and better. And I think we're literally working with the best version of what we have worked with them to build. And it's pretty amazing. And, it's a huge feat for a manufacturer like them too, I think it speaks so highly of them. The snowmobile that we race, 100% could be bought at a dealership. Anybody they want can go there and buy a 600 comp Skidoo sled, the identical sled we race, put some studs, put a windshield on it, and you could go do the whole Iron Dog, guaranteed.
That's incredible.
And I think it's huge. And it's down. The valving that comes in that snowmobile is the valving that's in ours. It is that baseline is in our sleds.
Yeah,
it's all the components that we've worked on. So I think, like I say, that's the most recent is my favorite one.
Yeah, that's something to be said too, like you said about the manufacturer. The fact that you can take this out of the box and kind of run and be competitive, because obviously there's more to it than just a sled to win. But that's incredible.
Yeah, they're a tough sled.
Yeah, that says a lot that they even listen to you about their, putting together race forward sleds and taking their input.
Absolutely.
Still a surprise every year, like everyone else. Here in 10 days, we get to see what's next. So
Yeah, right. We're all waiting at our Instagram posts.
Yeah.
What do you feel is, do you even have, do you guys have a, I don't want to say rivalry, but like a favorite team to kind of race against? Is there any other competitors that you feel is kind of a fun, like, oh, I'm glad to see them again because it really pushes you guys to do even better? Like you said, that mutual respect.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's changed a lot, and I actually just enjoy being out there. Nick and I, like, a lot of people always ask that, like, who do you feel like, to me, like, I feel Nick and I are so well prepared. I just want to focus on what we're doing. Like, I don't know. I don't
see competition.
Well, I don't. I mean, there is some out there, and there's guys that have done well, but I'm not going to focus on that for a minute. You don't even, like, we're going to run our race, and what happens. It's evolved. Some guys have gotten better over the years and are starting to do better, and they've had their ups and downs, and they're learning. But I just kind of enjoy being out there, Nick and I doing our thing. I'd say it's not even the race, but there's so much, like, we'll say there's a team that's newer, 19, Tim Gossett and Chad Moore have really stepped up and started helping trail breaking, and that's always been something Nick and I really, I think we enjoy and do a lot of, and it's part of our training program, and I don't know, some people don't enjoy it maybe as much. Those guys have stepped up and said, hey, these guys need some help. They are out there with us. I've rode with them more than I've ever rode with another team in practicing. Wow. I really had a lot of fun with those guys. But during the race, I mean, not to sound like a... I don't know. We're on our own. No. We do our thing.
But watch, everyone follows us.
I like it. Hey, you're focused. That's good.
Very much.
Do you recall any sort of, like, a best kind of trail fix? You guys had a little hiccup in a race, and
I don't know.
Tyson's handlebars, I think. You guys were there for that.
Ones, that was a good one. Yeah.
Nick was there. It was when we were competitive against each other, right? Back and forth.
They just passed me and Todd, and I'm like, that sucks. Then we caught up to them again. They were pulled over, and Tyson's handlebars snapped off, so they were undoing the bolts and sliding the handlebars over the side, so I had to ride sideways like this, so the bar was clamped in the...
And he rode it the rest of the race that way. So it broke right at, like, the riser block. Mm-hmm. And I remember, like, I come back, I'm like, what are you... And he's, like, holding the handlebar, dangling it in the air like this, and I'm like, are you serious? And at first you're like, how do you even do this? Like, what are we going to do? And then it was like, oh, let's just loosen these up and, like, slide them over and put them in, and it worked. And that happened... I want to say he snapped it on, like, the burn outside it, or no, he ended up snapping them. He bent them right at the ice fall. There's this ice fall on the burn. He bent them there, and then he broke it going over to Poor Man, and we finished the race that way.
Yep.
Wow.
With snapped handlebars.
Yeah,
so that was a cool
incredible. And nothing happened to you so far in all these years.
Oh, there's lots of things that happen, but I can't remember them all. It seems like most things that break, we just either have a spare or just ride it broke.
Yeah. Okay.
Fix it when we get to the next checkpoint.
If you're doing it right nowadays with the race and how it's evolved and how fast-paced and competitive, you can't be breaking things. Like Nick and I'd say all those years, like, it was a machine we never touched. We put new belts on them. Like,
we've done whole races on the same skis and carbides.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So if you're doing everything right, you're not tipping over, you're not getting stuck. Like, those are things I pride myself on. I think I've been stuck in the race, like, actually maybe twice.
Just caught in a drift?
Twice, three. Yeah. Yeah. Just, like, in a creek, any of that stuff. Like, that stuff that just it kills your pace, and you get exhausted.
Just a lot of energy.
Yeah. It's very, very few times have I ever been actually stuck.
Nick getting out and doing ski pulls for you.
Oh, he did. I remember one of them. It was like, I remember going Caltag to Unaclete.
There's usually a bridge.
There's a bridge, and I'm like, I went across this like section and I was like, oh, there's no bridge this year. And I looked back to make sure Nick was there, and literally right when I looked back, I looked like forward again and I'm like, oh, there's the bridge, and I'm going off it the wrong way. No. And I like pinned it and made it across the creek, but then was stuffed in the other side. And we just like, man, had Nick being the beast that he is, just like, we just yanked this thing right up the hill, and we weren't stuck very long. And just remember thinking like, holy cow, that could have been really, really bad.
I told Tyler, I'm like, I'm going to be going slow for a couple minutes here.
Oh, it was like
trying to catch
just stuck in
bad part of the trail.
You're like, pin and wiggle.
Yeah.
We had to get
off.
It was steep.
It was because Sled was stuck vertical, and we just like sucked it right up on top of the hill, and it was like, yeah.
He doesn't see me get stuck. I usually get out myself. I'm like, oh, man, I'm stuck. I can't let him find out.
Well, that happens when you're behind. What?
Oh, it's a tough.
Well, I'm turning around. I've been stuck before.
Yeah.
So I had to turn around and come help me.
I did once. Yeah, I remember him being like, where the heck? How am I going to turn around?
Yeah. Then, that one sucked. That was over the poor man.
Yeah, I remember that.
I hit his track. There was like a wind drift. I hit his track, and I didn't want to get like sucked into the woods, so I just got buried.
Yeah.
Like, trenched it.
Yeah, but that's where radios are nice now.
Yeah.
I'm stuck. Yeah. Turn around.
Hopefully, he doesn't get too far ahead of you.
Yeah.
I mean, or if I am, I think that's pretty rare. But you're like running back down the trail and then trying to get
It's
them
easier
unstuck.
just not get stuck.
Yeah.
Take the little bit of time you need.
Yeah.
Have you guys had one of those like scariest moments ever happen where you thought we're not finishing, or this is going to take all day, or?
I don't know. I mean, probably one of the worst is some of the water. We had a year that it got really warm, like out of Nome. Actually, it was a year that we went around that whole loop to the Kotzebue Loop. Part of the reason we were doing that is like we knew a storm was coming and we were trying to get away from the coast. So we were just like, let's just push through.
Okay.
Like there was nothing that was going to limit us to having to stop that year in Kotzebue, since the rules are different, and love Kotzebue. But that year it was like, no, I don't want to sit here and I don't want to get stuck there because the weather's moving in. So we just pushed through.
Socked in.
And by the time we did that whole thing, did the whole Kotzebue Loop and got back to Koyuk, the water was like starting to push in and it starts flooding in on the river coming into Koyuk there. And we went across there and it was like,
you're just water skipping in the dark, so you can't see. Your lights are all absorbed by the black water.
Yeah,
and then you're just going like iceberg to iceberg because you don't want to want to hit them, but you want to stay close enough just in case.
You're like, well, what am I going to do? Then you're hitting like chunks of floating, like overflowed iceberg out there, and you're launching like out in this overflow and this water. Stop. Oh no, you're not stopping. And you're just hoping, like you're kind of looking for white on the other side. Like, how far is this? And we ended up going across one that was a long way. Like we just went off into the black. And I'm like, and fortunately, I mean, I'm staring at that point. Now you're skipping water. You're trying to avoid icebergs, but you're staring at GPS because now
where you need to go.
What direction? Make sure I'm lined up and I'm going where I need to go to. Hopefully, going back to like get out of this, like knowing that should just be flooded in that section, and just hoping like it's not this way the whole way across, which it wasn't, fortunately. And we got across it. And I remember and then you get across, and then it's like, well, shoot, is Nick across? And then it's like, okay, he's there, we're good. Yeah,
that's crazy.
It definitely wild. Gets you excited.
Yeah. So what would be some advice that you guys would give to maybe some of the rookies or some people that are thinking about racing this race and haven't pulled the trigger on joining in and doing it?
It's a lot of fun.
I mean, there's absolutely, as we talk about all the stuff, that like just take it all in. I think as a rookie, like you really have to have that right mindset that I hate to say that you're not going to win, and anybody that is doing a race to this caliber and the cost of it and everything, like you're going to want to do the best you can, and you're going to want to do a race like to win. But maybe just know that you need to take it in, learn from it, and prepare. Like the more you can pre-run, the more you can make sure your snowmobile is set up. It's not going to break. Put it through what you would expect to see it doing out there, and like that pays dividends.
Yeah.
Know your equipment.
Yeah. I like it. Gentlemen, Tyler, Nick, we appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
This isn't just a race. It's endurance, machines at their limits, and teams pushing through Alaska's toughest terrain. Welcome to the Iron Dog Podcast, where we go behind the helmets, behind the sleds, and into the stories that make this race legendary.